Do you know the feeling when you buy the worst tech product in your life because of one video, and after that you watch reviews and see people talking shit about the device, and you're just sitting there embarrassed by your decision, and you can't even show that thing to your friends because you feel ashamed? Well, I actually have that feeling, and for a while I was scared to share it, but today is the right time to do it, I guess. So today I'm gonna tell you my story, why I decided to buy an OLED monitor, how I literally scratched my old IPS monitor, and how I ended up regretting it. I know it might sound a little disconnected right now, but trust me, you'll understand everything. This isn't really a boring review of the monitor, just my story about a big mistake that I don't want you to repeat. Now let's get started. Let's start with the obvious question. Why did I even want an OLED monitor in the first place? I mean, you might say beautiful colors, bright picture, and all that, right? It is partly true, but I have other reasons. Before this purchase, I had only used IPS monitors. My first one was back in 2021, a simple 1080p 70Hz refresh rate IPS display. Later I upgraded to a better one with a higher refresh rate and a 2K resolution, but it was still IPS, and that 75Hz monitor just became a second monitor for me. And honestly, for me, that already felt like the peak. I never imagined that one day I would be sitting in front of an OLED monitor. And I'm not gonna lie, I actually like IPS panels, especially the ones from Samsung. And by the way, remember that sentence, because later in this video, I'm gonna say some very loud things about this company. So, around 2024, OLED monitors suddenly exploded in popularity. Everyone started talking about them, every video, every forum, every TikTok video, people were praising them like crazy because of the deep blacks and the vibrant colors. But that hype lasted only until real reviews started coming out. Then people began pointing out the downsides. I even made a video mentioning issues like text clarity and brightness limitation recently. But there were still some things I hadn't experienced personally. So even after hearing both the praise and the criticism, I still wanted to try OLED myself. And on top of that, at the moment, my setup had basically reached its limits. I already had good devices, powerful PC, and nothing really excited me anymore. You know that feeling when you upgrade from weak hardware to something powerful and it feels amazing? But once you're already at a good level, upgrading again doesn't give you the same excitement. It's almost like upgrading from a Lamborghini to a Bugatti. So that's why I decided to switch to OLED. I thought this upgrade would change something. I watched dozens of videos praising it, and honestly I was pretty excited, not gonna lie. So recently I moved to another city and decided to build my new setup from the scratch. And of course for that setup I decided to buy an OLED monitor. Why not? I paid about $600 for a Samsung Odyssey G5 OLED for 2K resolution and a 180Hz refresh rate. Compared to other OLED models, it's actually not that expensive and considered budget monitor. But for me, it was still a lot of money because I'm used to cheaper panel types, like an IPS for example. And about that, for that price, you can easily buy a 4K IPS monitor. Anyway, I'm wrong if I don't say I wasn't excited. I thought this would be great content for the channel. I turned it on, expecting to be blown away, and honestly, the feeling I had is hard to describe. But if I had to summarize it in one word, it would be more like a regret. But other than that, at that moment, I had another problem. Since I had just moved to a new apartment, my main PC was still in another part of the country, and delivering it would take time because it's too big for it. But I had to test my monitor. Luckily, I had something that saved the situation. The GEEKOM A5 Pro mini PC from today's sponsor, GEEKOM. I've been testing it on my OLED, and honestly, I didn't expect this much desktop performance from something this small. I could literally bring it with me on a plane. It's smaller than my keyboard. Inside, it runs a Ryzen 5 7530U, which is a 6-core, 12-thread processor that boosts up to 4.5 GHz. For everyday workloads like multitasking, productivity apps, development tools, or even light creative work, it's actually more capable than most people expect from a mini PC. The configuration I have comes with 16GB of RAM and fast 1TB SSD. It ships in single channel memory, but there's an extra slot available so you can easily expand it yourself. And you can upgrade the memory up to 64GB and expand the storage up to 3TB. Despite the small size, it still has a lot of connectivity. On its I/O, it offers USB-C, HDMI, SD card slot, 2.5 gigabit Ethernet, Wi-Fi 6, and it supports dual 4K displays. which makes it a very practical setup for productivity or home office work. Another thing I like is the build quality. The A5 Pro uses a full metal internal frame and the Ice Blast 3.0 cooling system, which keeps the system quiet and stable even during longer workloads. And GEEKOM backs it with 3-year warranty, which is something you rarely see in a computer at this price. So instead of constantly upgrading big desktop systems, a compact machine like this can actually be a very practical long-term PC for everyday work, or development, or media setups. If you want to check it out, I'll leave the GEEKOM A5 Pro 2026 edition link in the description below. And you can also use my code AMAN-A5 Pro for 7% off. Also keep an eye on their official website promotions because they update deals there pretty frequently. Now let's continue with the video. A few days later, my main PC finally arrived at my new apartment, along with my old Xiaomi IPS monitor, which is also 2K and 180Hz. But I was so focused on my new OLED purchase that I barely cared about the IPS monitor anymore. I treated it very carelessly, I didn't even bother turning it on properly. Eventually, I decided to use it as a second monitor, but while unpacking everything, I made a stupid mistake. I scratched the screen with a knife. And honestly, the regret felt in that moment was insane. Luckily, the scratch wasn't very visible, but it was still painful to see. I even posted a photo of it on my Discord server before this video. By the way, if you want to see behind the scenes stuff like that, the link to the Discord server is in the description. Now, to be fair, when I first turned on the OLED monitor, it actually looked amazing. I tested some games with dark scenes, watched YouTube videos, and the colors really did look great. Blacks were perfectly black, bright areas were vibrant, and during the first few hours, everything seemed fine. I thought, alright, this is actually a great upgrade. But then something started to feel wrong. After a while, out of nowhere, my eyes started hurting from the screen. Now, to be clear, it never happened to me before. When I sit in front of the screen, I can easily sit for hours straight, without a problem. But this time, text looked strange and unclear. That's the issue, I guess. I knew OLED text clarity could be worse, but I didn't expect it to be this bad. So I started troubleshooting everything. I checked resolution, refresh rate, scaling, I changed contrast settings, enabled eye saving modes, adjusted brightness, and HDR. I tried literally everything. Nothing helped. So I desperately went online to make sure I wasn't doing something wrong. I searched on Google, asked ChatGPT, and eventually ended up reading Reddit threads. And that's when I realized something important. A lot of people are complaining about exactly the same issue. And that was the moment when I realized I had probably made a big mistake. So here's the interesting thing you should know. OLED is actually not just one single technology. When stores say OLED, it doesn't really mean much because there are several different types of OLED panels. And if you don't understand the difference, you can easily buy the wrong one just like I did. So the thing is, there are multiple OLED technologies out there. You have QD-OLED, WOLED, Tandem OLED, and then things like AMOLED that are mostly used in phones and tablets. But when it comes to monitors that you use for gaming or other type of stuff, the two main types you'll see are QD-OLED and WOLED. QD-OLED was developed by Samsung while WOLED was developed by LG. The difference between them is actually pretty important. WOLED has a pixel layout that's pretty similar to traditional LCD panels like IPS, which makes it behave much more naturally in operating systems like Windows. QD-OLED, on the other hand, uses a completely different subpixel layout. The advantage is that the colors are extremely vibrant and very accurate, but the downside is something I didn't fully understand until I tried it myself. You see, Windows is designed around a very specific pixel structure: red, green, and the blue arranged in a linear pattern. That's how most monitors work: IPS, TN, VA, and even WOLED. Because of that, text looks sharp and clean. But QD-OLED doesn't follow that structure. The pixels are arranged differently, and because of that, text can look slightly strange. On black backgrounds, it can create tiny color fringing and weird textures. There are small details, but your eyes still notice them. And guess what panel type my monitor is? Yep, QD-OLED. Now the funny thing is, I actually knew about this problem before buying it, but I thought it wouldn't be that bad. I thought the pixels are tiny, the resolution is 2K, so I probably wouldn't notice it much, but I was wrong. After using that for a while, my eyes started hurting. Not immediately, but after some time. Reading text became uncomfortable, and I couldn't even sit in front of the screen for an hour without feeling eye strain. The only time it actually feels great is when you're playing games and not staring at the text all the time. And to be fair, in games, the monitor actually looks amazing. The colors are fantastic, blacks are perfect, and the image quality is beautiful. The only limitation is that I bought the 180Hz version, but honestly that doesn't bother me much. Higher refresh rate OLED monitors are way more expensive, and I mostly play story-driven AAA games anyway. In those games, you're not getting 200 FPS on ultra settings. For me, the refresh rate has never been on top priority. Back when everyone was switching to 144Hz, I was still using 60Hz and I was completely fine. I bought 180Hz this time, mainly because that's basically the modern baseline now. But there's another weird downside of QD-OLED that I didn't expect. When the monitor is turned off, the screen isn't actually black in the bright environments. QD-OLED panels react to sunlight differently, and if your room is bright or sunlight hits the display, the panel can look violet or purple instead of black. It's not a huge issue in terms of functionality, but visually it's kinda annoying. You look at your desk and instead of seeing a clean black screen, the monitor has this weird violet tint. And honestly, that's another moment where I realized maybe this upgrade wasn't such a great idea after all. So here's my honest advice. If you're watching this video and you don't really play games, I honestly wouldn't recommend buying an OLED monitor for work. At the very least, go to a local store and look at one in person before buying it. That way you can see if the text clarity or the panel actually feels comfortable for your eyes. Because if it doesn't, you'll probably regret the purchase. And the problem is that many stores don't accept monitor returns, so instead of refunding, it might end up selling it on the secondhand market for a cheaper price. If you have the option to buy a good IPS monitor for the same price, I would personally choose IPS. Yes, IPS panels might have a little backlight bleed or slightly grayish blacks, but the image is stable and comfortable for everyday work. But for gaming, OLED is amazing, and you can definitely get used to it. But for productivity, editing, or reading text all day, IPS still feels much better to me. And if you buy a high quality IPS panel, especially from companies like Samsung, you'll probably be very happy with it. In my opinion, Samsung makes excellent IPS monitors, even if I'm not the biggest fan of their QD-OLED panels after this experience. And if you really want to try OLED but avoid the problems I had, you might want to look at WOLED monitors instead. They behave much closer to traditional displays like IPS but still give you those deep OLED blacks. And usually they are cheaper than QD-OLED models as well. Anyway, I guess that's where I should end this video. If you enjoyed it, thanks for watching and take care.